My name is Natasha Malk, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the different ways that different games use wind to affect the player. To start with, we're going to start with Mario World Taifu Flurries. Here, the wind will affect the player by blowing them off into spikes. The player can find their way back around. The wind in these levels seem to be on a timer, so if the player times it just right, they can make it past the obstacle of the wind. Now we've seen what happens when the little wind clouds are blowing out. They can blow the player off their path. But if you'll notice right here, when they breathe in, they can also suck the player in off the path as well. Okay, right here we're going to see a different use of the wind. It comes straight up and blows the player up into the air. If used just right, it can help prevent the player from falling into the hole. Another game that we are going to be looking at the way that they use wind is Zelda the Wind Waker. The temple in Wind Waker uses wind in many different ways to deter the player. Right here we can see the wind is being used as a barrier to prevent the player from going into the next room. Another way that wind is used is to help the player get to another part of the level. You can see here that it just rises Link straight up into the air so that he can reach that platform to get to the other part of the level. Another game that we are going to talk about is Diddy Kong Quest. We'll see how the designers decided to use wind in this game compared to the last two that we've looked at. Windy Well, to me, was one of the more difficult levels of Diddy Kong's adventure here. But you can see the wind blows in a single direction. The wind seems to all the time be going straight up, which lifts Diddy up into the air and helps him to sort of float around enemies and obstacles. Okay, here we're in Gusty Glade, and you'll notice that the wind doesn't blow in just one direction. The player actually has to time and watch the leaves which way they blow so that they'll know where the wind is going to take them and be very careful when trying to use the wind to their advantage. Now, much like Legend of Zelda, in the well, the Windy Well, the wind only blew in one direction, which in the case of the Legend of Zelda, the wind blew straight up to help the player to get to where they were going, or it was used as a barricade to stop the player. I want to try to utilize wind in many different ways in my level. Thank you for watching.